My name is Hayley Bricker. I'm a lab assistant in the Tripodi lab at UCLA, involved in both the lab and in CDLS. I have always been interested in science. It took until my senior year of high school to really decide that I wanted to pursue science. So I entered UCLA in 2014 as an astrophysics major. Knew that was going to be hard, but not as hard as it actually turned out to be, so I ended up switching into the geology program and eventually graduated with a degree in earth and environmental science. I guess my identity as a female scientist, also a queer female scientist, within I think like the physical sciences as a whole, there's a lack of conversation around having multiple identities around or outside of being a scientist. So I think being in a lab that doesn't exclude multiple interests and is very welcoming to having like interdisciplinary functions in the lab is something that I've just grown really used to. So if I step outside and experience other environments, it's kind of a little bit of a culture shock, I think. But that is the reality of everything outside of our lab. The field overall, and this is true of the geosciences too, is very archaic in their thoughts about who gets to do the science. There was one professor that I remember saying if you didn't have exposure to physics prior to college, you didn't deserve to be in the room. So I definitely had that lack of exposure. And as we talked about, my experience in high school with math was traumatizing for sure. Definitely developed severe anxiety over it. Yeah, I struggled a lot with like a panic disorder that I literally developed because of the comments that I received from teachers about my ability to do math. And you know, if you're constantly being told like the way that you understand something isn't the proper way, and it's, you know, that's the barrier, then you should just give up. Like that's not, I don't think that's a true statement at all. Dr. Tripodi's been really supportive, really interested in who I am as a person and what my specific interests are. And it's nice to have a mentor, an advisor who wants to sit down and, you know, see what your plans are and how things in the lab and in her sphere can help me achieve what I want to do. CDLS is the Center for Diverse Leadership in Science. It's just finished its first real year. We had a year zero, which was very developmental. So it's a center through the Institute of Environment and Sustainability that focuses on mentorship and retention in STEM at UCLA and also in surrounding programs at community colleges across the nation. We really try to do as much outreach as possible. So my other job is a museum guide at Griffith Observatory, and that's complete science communication, breaking down some really complex topics for public consumption, essentially. And it's definitely fed into the work that I do, the written work here, and just how I think about talking about science. A common question, or the way that people start their questions at my other job is, sorry if this is a stupid question, and it just gets me every time because one, no question is stupid, and two, it really bothers me how some people just think that whatever they have to ask isn't worth the merit. So that's something that I really want to do going forward, is extensive science communication work. Best case scenario, have a PhD in 5 to 10 years. If something else pops up along the way, like I decide not to go into academia and work in a science communication job or writing job, any sort of thing like that, I'd be happy. Definitely still want to keep working at Griffith Observatory. I think that will just always be a constant. So I hope that on a global level, we are able to combat climate change effectively and smartly and stop beating around the bush politically.